Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Today, we're going to talk about living in a judo desert, doing judo where there is no judo.
Yeah,
That's
right.
But today, I just want to say I'm sorry for not having uploaded a video on YouTube from this podcast in a very long time. And I must say it's Peter's fault.
Yeah, it is in a way. Yeah, so what was the issue? Oh, hold on. I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the issue is this. The issue is this, right? We log on to Squadcast. We have this conversation. You know, I could see Peter. He could see me. And then Peter just kept having these technical issues. He just kept getting logged out. And he's the computer programmer, right? And I'm just the judo goon. So I'm like, damn, what's wrong with your goddamn computer?
Right.
I was like, oh, you know. Yeah, and then we just couldn't figure it out. We were hitting up Squadcast, you know, day in and day out. What's going on? And you know, Peter's doing something funny with his like Linux and Windows running on the same computer and all this stuff. And then we finally figured it out, right?
Yeah. So it was I have to thank the Squawka support because they've been great. You know, they've been really knowledgeable and responsive. But the issue was that on my desktop that I record this on, I have two operating systems, Windows and Linux, and they track their time zones differently. So basically, when I got on my Windows operating system, my time zone was wrong. And that caused an authentication problem with Squadcast, which kept kicking me out. So my video wasn't getting uploaded to Squadcast properly. And then, so Squadcast actually came up with the solution that they asked me like, hey, does your desktop happen to be in a wrong time zone? And I was like, you know what? It is because, and I've never fixed it because, I've never fixed it because it never caused a problem until now.
Yeah.
And turns out that was the problem. Yeah.
That's a very out of the box solution, right?
I know.
We were like, oh man, the software is messy. And that's pretty cool that you run Linux and Windows. I run Mac OS and Windows. I have like a partitioned hard drive.
Oh, you
but
still
I never
do?
use Windows because I can't figure out Windows. Windows is just too complicated for me. So I was able to get
it was
there.
Very different. Yeah. I mean, that's still
Window's
good.
The worst. Yeah. Keep it simple.
Apple makes it easy. Yeah, makes it easy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's go back to doing judo where there is no judo.
Yes, this is a very common thing.
And this was a suggestion from one of our Patreons, actually.
Yeah.
And especially a common thing in the U.S., I guess.
Yeah. So what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
So, oh man, I'm doing jujitsu, or I'm into karate, or I'm into some martial arts, and I want to do judo because I've been looking up judo, but there is no judo in my neighborhood. What do I do? It's a pretty common thing that I hear. Just the first thing, it's like when you're watching judo online and observing stuff like that, I think is the first step. Right? Once you're watching it and once you're interested in it, I want you to keep that interest going. And, you know, if you can keep up with the IJF competition circuit, that's great. If you can watch tutorials, find your favorite instructors, that's great. And then that's like the very first step.
Right.
Right. And then you have to kind of take it from there to the training.
Yeah, but I guess that's a big problem. I mean, everyone can watch videos. But how do you find people? Yeah. You need another body to train. Yeah.
You do need another body to train, and I don't suggest just grabbing your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend and just start doing throws on them because it's unsafe. You definitely want to be trained with a professional. What I say to people who are looking for dojos all the time is visit all the dojos in the region. That's the most important thing. You have to go visit all the dojos. Because when you go into a dojo and say, oh, I really like this place, I'm just going to join, you don't know what else is out there.
Right.
You have to be sort of an educated consumer, and that's one of the things that I always suggest. Like, go visit all the schools and see which is a good fit. Sometimes you go in and, you know, you just vibe perfectly with the community. The teacher's amazing, and you just kind of know, right? And maybe it's one of those things. But first, visit all the dojos. And I would say judo and jiu-jitsu because those are very related martial arts. Right? That's first.
So anything, like, first do some research on to see what's available.
See what's available,
Yeah. So the BJJ or judo, yeah. But I guess the question is, like, there might not be one, you know, around.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how common that case would be, but you know, they do, you know, they do exist. Like,
That's true. If you're in the middle of nowhere, it might not be there might not be an option, but I would say, a close option is I feel like jiu-jitsu would be there.
right, BJJ, yeah,
BJJ would be there, and if not, go into some other martial art like wrestling. There's wrestling all over the place, right?
right,
Some kind of grappling martial art is good. So you join a martial arts school or a grappling school, and then you want to have an open dialogue with the instructor. Hey, I've been watching these things. Hey, I've been right, and of course you don't want to overstep your boundaries because there is an immediate hierarchy when you join a martial
right,
arts school. There's a belt and system, and there's a teacher. You're the student. You're walking in. You're like, oh, I've never done this before, but I've been watching judo videos online. Let me just work some of the stuff out on you. All right, that's not really going to fare well.
Yeah.
No one's going to like you if you do that. So if you're joining a wrestling club or a jiu-jitsu club, learn that martial art first, right? Get into it. Learn it. If there is no judo, I'm saying. Learn that art and then start trying to make connections between what you see online and that grappling style and see how it can potentially connect.
I see.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu is a good one because it's so relatable and accessible because even a lot of our Patreons, they're jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah.
The jiu-jitsu guys who are interested in judo and exactly what we're talking about now. Oh, we don't have a judo school in our neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah. And there's always a time before class, after class, where there's sort of like that, depends on what martial arts school you go to, but there's sort of this downtime.
Right.
Downtime, uptime. And during that time period, you could grab someone and say, hey, can I work some of the stuff on you? The key is to drill those things slowly. Because it's dangerous.
So that during those downtimes, you're saying you could work on those things that you see on YouTube, online. Yeah.
And I'm not too big of an advocate on like watch stuff on YouTube and try it out.
Right.
I mean, even though that's my whole thing, right? You want to learn from your teacher, not just the internet.
Right.
You think want to start trying some stuff out. Yeah, and then you want to talk to your teacher.
Yeah,
and
you should
whoever
bring
your
it up.
Is.
Yeah, bring it to the teacher. Yeah, right. Like, this is what I saw. But then don't do that during the uptime, so to speak. Right. Like, do that during the downtime. During the uptime, like focus on the main parts. So, So another interesting point. So that's on the training side. So say you got some training experience. You found a gym, although it might be far away. But now competition. Going to a competition is a big part of all of these grappling arts. Although we do say competition may not be for everyone. But if you want to go to a competition, but there's no competition around, like that's close by, what do you think people could do?
I mean, you got to travel. Get on an airplane. Airplane drive. But, even then, I will go check out the scope of the competition first. I try to, not that I discourage all competition, but if someone in my judo school is like, I want to compete. It's like, okay, do you have any idea what it's like out there competing against, I trained for 3 months. I feel like I'm really good and tough. Okay. But, white, yellow, green belt division, you might get a guy that's been doing judo for 6 years. How's that fair? It's not fair, but it's just how it is,
Yeah.
So go check it out. I would go watch it and then see if it's something that you might be interested in. Most people don't take the time to do it.
Watching. I mean, I guess you could make a trip out of it with your teammates who compete. You can kind of go on that. Yeah.
That's an option. This is the thing. Most people don't really know how they're going to fare in competition.
Right.
And the thing
is,
how
they know?
I want to compete.
Yeah.
They will know. A lot of people have not competed. Now all of a sudden, they're doing this martial art and they're pretty good in the dojo. And they're like, I want to, test it out. Great. I love that you are enthusiastic about it.
Right.
I want to support it. But I have no clue whether or not this guy or girl is going to crumble under the pressure or get injured, or I have no clue.
Right.
Could be the worst experience for this person ever. Could be.
Or it could
so
be
like,
the best.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
Be in that environment and see if you take to it. And so, like, if there is no judo tournaments right near you, then I would go to a jiu-jitsu tournament and check that out.
There are more of those, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more of those.
What do you think about like asking your teacher to organize like intra club competitions or small inter club competitions? You think that's how? I've never been to one of those, so I don't know how. You've done
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
I've done a bunch of stuff in that kind of world. I've taken the kids, and we had like
Yeah.
my buddy Joe's school down in Staten
Right.
Island, and we had a crisscross thing where he would bring his guys, all his kid students to my dojo, and I would bring all my judo students to his dojo, and we did it,
Right.
back when the kids program was something,
Yeah.
and that was pretty good, and we gotta make safe matchups, and we'd have an open discussion about, is this kid that my kid is about to fight a killer or not.
Right. Right.
Right, we would be, very transparent about that because we don't want any mismatches. The goal is
Right.
not for any of our kids to get bombed.
Right. Right.
Right, the goal is for them to get
Just
and
some experience
even
and
then,
have fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
experience and have fun. I've done that before. I've done little tournaments in-house tournaments where
Yeah.
they're showing technique and doing technique demonstration for the kids. I think it's one of the best things. I've done that.
Not doing full on matches.
Not doing full on, although it gets a little bit tricky. There's not too many clubs nearby, but it's a pretty big ask, right? Wednesday night, instead of having practice at our dojo, we're going to go to this other person's dojo, and we all have to
Right.
travel, and we all have to do this. Some people can do it, some people cannot,
Right. Right.
right? So I'm going to leave most of the people that can't go, and then just for, maybe 8 or 9 students that are going to be able to do it, it's hard to justify.
Right.
And
see.
there's a little bit of like that, political, like, no, they come to me kind of a situation. You know what I mean?
Between the dojos, like for
Between the
interclub
dojos, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
Oh,
there was a dojo in Queens that had a workout at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And I wanted to support that. He has a new
yeah.
location. He combined forces during the pandemic
Yeah.
with another dojo. So it's 2 dojos in Queens that said, you know what? We're both losing our lease. We're both suffering. Let's find another location and combine schools. And they did it, and they have a much bigger facility, and I want to support that. I really do. But I'm not going to burn a Sunday with my daughter to go to work out and do randori with these guys.
Right. Right.
It's like, what am I going to get out of that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Show my support, yes, but I'm not, me and my daughter, we had like a thing that we were planning out, like, we're going to do this, Sunday, and, oh, honey, I'm going to go to this judo thing and do randori for 2 hours and hang out, and then
Right.
it's just, I just can't justify it, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
So like something like that's great. And Mikhail from Philadelphia in that region, he came and he's the man. He's the coach for USA Sambo, and he brought his team. And I was watching some of the clips online, and Mikhail's like in his 50s, and he's like throwing down, and he's also a red and white belt, and he's the man.
Yeah.
So like,
I love that guy.
It was
Yeah.
nice to see
His
that.
kids
Yeah.
And, yeah.
If he it would have been like, if I knew he was gonna be there, maybe I would have gone.
Yeah.
But
Maybe later.
It's tough
Mikhail
to justify, man.
Mikhail always brings his kids, so maybe when
Yeah.
your daughter gets older
Yeah.
and then she gets into judo, maybe you can
I think
take
it's
her
very
around.
difficult with these kinds of things because everyone's on different wavelengths when it comes to this stuff,
Oh, okay.
right? You see it administratively with the back end of judo organizations. Some people do it full time. A lot of people don't do it full time. Some people do it
Right.
part time. Some people do it for money. Some people do it as volunteer.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're going to do Friday night workouts at my club. Let's do it. It's like, wait a minute. I have a club and I have practice. I'm not going to shut down my practice to go to your practice.
Right, right.
Yeah. And then, I have a full-time job. I worked all week, 9 to 5, 9 to 7. It's Friday. I just want to fucking watch TV with my whatever. So
Right.
it's a tough ask for a lot of people who are running clubs who are in the position to do it. Maybe we're competing on Sunday. Maybe my guys are banged up. Maybe I have a young team. Maybe all these different factors kind of contribute to it. And I think it's very difficult to rally everybody and do something like this. It's been done. People do it.
Right. And then
But I think
guess
in judo, there's a lot more people running dojos part-time.
yeah, that's true.
Right? That's without a doubt. I know lots of people, firefighters during the day, running a dojo at night. I know a guy who's a nurse during the day, running a dojo at night. This person's a school teacher, running a dojo at night.
Uh-huh.
Those people have different time constraints.
Right. So
You know what I mean? Those people aren't bought in as much as the people who are doing it full time.
and I guess there could be those type of people. That type of people are more common in areas where there's not a lot of judo, because that's just the nature.
I think so. That's just my
yeah.
nature. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think so. In summary, I think combining forces to have inter club competitions could be a good idea. And there are not that many competitions around, but
Yeah.
it requires work. I guess
It
a lot of
requires work.
communication.
Everything
Yeah,
requires work.
yeah,
It really does. It is a great idea, and I'm not trying to push people away from it, but there's
yeah,
reasons why I don't do it. If I was a single person
yeah,
when I used to be,
yeah.
I focused a lot on things like this. We did KBI
Right.
Super Fights, which was like this. You fought in
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. we made a production out of that. Yeah,
We made a
remember?
production. Yeah, there
Yeah,
was like 100 people spectating in the dojo. It was too much. It
with
was a
a
fire hazard.
videographer and then
A
everything.
videographer, we had everything. And I
Yeah.
was so nervous. I was like, oh man,
Oh
what if
really?
everyone, gets trampled or something or run out of oxygen in this
Run
little
out of
space?
oxygen.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy. And
yeah,
I was like, oh man, I hope no one breaks a leg. But we've
yeah.
done all sorts of cool events, but it gets harder and harder, the
Right.
more you have a kid or the more, life
Yeah.
gets in the way because everyone's in a different place in life. You know what
Right.
I mean? It's not like, I remember seeing an interclub competition in Japan. It's like, all right, we're going to invite, 20 high schools in the region. Everybody's coming in. Yeah. And there was 400 people in the room.
And the teachers are full time, right? Like those judo teachers.
They're all full time. That's all they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we had 400 kids in the room, and we're all gonna have matches. And they divided the mats up into small little competition areas. They had like 10, 15 match areas going.
Yeah.
2-3 hours, we were out of there, and then they had to have practice
Right.
after that. It was brutal. I competed in that. It was
Yeah,
a high school intra club.
Right.
I was like
We talked
27.
about that in on other
Yeah.
episodes, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
you
was
were there for a
there,
training
yeah.
camp, right?
I was there with the university team, but they went on
Yeah.
summer break. But the high school were still going, so I was training with
Yeah.
the high school team. And the coaches were like, "You want to go out there and compete against these high school kids?" I was like, "All right." I go
Yeah,
out there,
fun.
and all the coaches like, "That kid's not in high school."
You're,
It says USA on the backpack. And then
backbench.
some of the other coaches like, he's fighting for the US. Not that good anyway. And I hear all this stuff.
Right. That's funny. So that
Yeah.
maybe another solution. I mean, it could be a long-term solution for these judo deserts would be to get judo integrated into the NCAA, the scholastic programs. Maybe.
That's a big ask, man. I gotta tell you, people
Yeah.
have all these ideas. People give me ideas like this, like you should teach the NYPD judo. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a big ask. I'm gonna
Yeah.
network my way into the right decision maker and then teach them a little bit of judo.
Oh
and
yeah.
that's too much work for me. With no, I'm not saying that's not worth my time, but my time is already stretched thin.
Yeah. You can't do everything.
Can't do
Yeah.
anything. I got work
Yeah.
and daughter
Daughter. Yeah.
and podcast.
That's all I do. Like
Yeah.
it's not gym 10 laundry. It's like judo, daughter.
GTO, yeah.
Yeah.
Gym is a
and
big part of
pocket. GDP. Oh
Yep.
no, JPD. JDP.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Yeah,
So then,
there's
yeah.
a story about Kashiwazaki I kind of wanted to share when we were talking about this topic.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know Kashiwazaki, just YouTube him. He's spectacular. He does all sorts of weird moves like sumigaeshi, tomonage, newaza. So
He's
during
the
his
Newaza
era,
Newaza specialist or something, right?
he was a newaza specialist. Yes.
Yeah.
So he was doing a lot of this jiu-jitsu stuff, looking
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
before it got popularized, and that's how he made a name for himself. But he was a
Right.
high school judo coach, so he didn't have training partners.
Oh.
So he devised a way to train against
Uh-huh.
his students because he knew he wasn't going against the biggest and the best.
Oh,
He was
interesting.
training high schoolers. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a high school coach. So if you look at the era of that time of judo, he has a very, very distinct and unique style, which I love that.
Yeah.
Right. So in theory, can you win an All Japan, or I forgot what title he won, but can you win
Yeah.
one of these major titles only training with high school kids? Right? He can. You can. He proved this.
Yeah.
Similarly, can you do just BJJ, learn judo, and develop your stand-up game while you're belonging only to a jiu-jitsu gym,
Yeah.
while watching videos and
Right.
putting together a little downtime pod situation? Yes. And I have people reaching out to me specifically and then sending me videos. Hey, is this good? Hey, is that good? I have like this virtual coaching thing. I don't charge for anything like that. And 90% of inquiries I just generally ignore. But sometimes somebody will get through with the right message.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll check their profile.
Yeah.
And then, they're really trying hard and they seem genuine. And it's like, sometimes you scroll through somebody's Instagram and you're like, I want to help this kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every now and then you get that.
Yeah.
Right. And then I have a couple people that I'm like kind of going back and forth with and, they send me videos. And now they kind of have I wrestle. I want to learn some judo throws. What techniques are great. Here are some videos from my YouTube. Check it out. Here's me doing them. No gi. What do you think? I think you should do it from an underhook instead. Something like this. Now they kind of have a throwing game.
Yeah.
And every now and then I'll see them throwing on Instagram, like just, out of the blue. And I'm like, maybe I made a little bit of a impact on this kid's life.
Yeah.
Right?
I see.
Usually it's not a kid because I don't really want to be interacting with minors or anything like that online. You know what I mean? But I'm talking kid like, anybody under 30 is a kid to me now because I'm, pushing 40.
I
right?
see.
I
get that.
condescending, but,
You're not pushing 40. Come on now.
I am, man. I'm 37.
Oh.
Pushing 40.
It's not pushing 40.
Yeah. Masters division coming up. So yeah, that's idea. Yeah, BJJ guys is very, but BJ Judo is like seeping its way into jiu-jitsu now, so I don't think you're gonna have that hard of a time finding people to do stand up with.
So wait, so how did Kashiwazaki practice with his? What was his strategy to train with his high school students?
I don't really know. I just know that story. I want to interview him, like, "Hey, Kashiwazaki, what's up, man? How did you train with Japan?" It's like
we got bring him in.
I think the biggest advantage, the edge that he had, was that he was watching judo in Japan and saying, "Okay, Tomonage, Sumigaishi, not so utilized. That's my gap. That's the niche that I want to exploit."
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff always happens. If some people are doing mostly this, then you find something that's a little bit different, then you excel at that. And you understand those positions well. Leg locks has been around forever, right? But then as soon as Danaher and his team were like, all right, I love leg locks. I want to explore it because people aren't really using it properly. That's what we're going to specialize in. That's what they did. They specialized in this. Now they won everything with it. Yeah. Now everyone does it. Now they've moved on to something else.
Which is?
I don't really know because I don't really follow so closely, but like they moved on to something else. They did a back attack system, open guard, this and that.
I see.
They're always a little bit ahead of what the trends are doing.
So this is something
you could stay ahead of it.
Yeah, this is something you could do when there's you don't necessarily have to do what every judoka is doing. When there's not much judo around you, you can try to study the art carefully and then try to find a gap. Yeah. And exploit that.
Yeah, and even my dojo, when I was young, we didn't have high-level competitors at the school. We had a lot of hobbyists, enthusiasts, people who were tough grapplers, but they weren't competing day in and day out on the international circuit. So I was the only one really coming up through those ranks.
Right.
So you go travel and do a training camp. That's another thing that you can do. Mm-hmm. There's training camps all over the country.
Right.
Not all of them are good, but the ones like Jimmy Pedro does. Yeah. Very good. In January, they're doing a training camp in Florida. Uh-huh. Actually, it's coming up. By the time this goes up, it's probably not. It's already passed. Yeah, I think late January, they're doing like a 4-day camp or something like that. Right. Jimmy's going to be down there. All the best U.S. guys are going to be down there. Mm-hmm. At one point, they used to make it mandatory for people on the team to go to these things in order to get funding.
I see.
They used to have a Lake Placid winter camp every year. We used to go to the training camp in Montreal all the time in the winter. We used to have like world championship camps. So like if you live in a judo desert, you could go to these things. And I've been to like the world, championships training camp, up in Wakefield, Massachusetts, 2 weeks before the world championships in the summer. Whether I was competing or not competing.
Just go to train.
Yeah, and there would be the people there like, not a lot of them, but blue belt jiu-jitsu guy, or this guy does judo, but he's only like a brown belt, but he's there.
I've pretty open, huh?
I've seen that. It's pretty open, yeah.
Yeah.
they put you up in a little bit of a hotel situation.
Right.
You have morning practice, night practice. You kind of hang out during the day.
You could go to seminars too, I guess.
Go to
Not just training
seminars.
camps. You have
Yeah,
some seminars coming up.
I do have seminars coming up. I have one in
Yeah.
North Dakota.
Dakota. Yeah.
That's in April. And I have one in Las Vegas in March. So that's my...
Packed
I
schedule.
don't usually do seminars. I used to do a lot of them, but then I got, tired of them. And I used to do a lot of privates, and then I got tired of them. But, during Corona, we didn't do any. And then the inquiries started really rolling in.
Uh-huh.
And then this is a special one because he's also a Patreon, and I've been having a lot of conversations with him through our Discord. So I was like, you know what? I will do it. He's, there's a minimum fee to like get me out the door.
Right.
It's below it, but he gets special treatment because I'm very grateful that he's a Patreon. And he's contributing to the community. So I'm gonna do my best to, give, my best out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to make sure that he has a good time and it's worth it for him and his people.
Yeah.
Out in North Dakota,
Must be beautiful.
Las Vegas
out there.
too. I'll be in Vegas.
Yeah.
I gotta say that one I'm looking a little bit more forward to. Maybe I'll play some blackjack or
Get
something.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But
So,
it's beautiful out there
I'm
in
in the
North
game,
Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm in the game with that a little bit. So
Yeah.
maybe I might consider doing one seminar a month, like an away seminar a month.
yeah.
Maybe, right? So like you could reach out to me and then you could ask me for my pricing and all this stuff. Usually I split it with the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I split 50-50 with the gym so the gym can make some money.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's an option. Bringing some big names like Shintaro Higashi to your local judo scene for a seminar.
There you go. That's the solution. That's leading up to this whole thing. Judo Desert, fly me in. Fly me in.
That's right. And Shintaro will save you from the desert.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
like
do
an
50-50,
oasis.
right? And
Yeah.
then there's like sort of a floor, a price floor, because I don't want to go out there for, $300 and then, burn a weekend with my daughter. That's everything really right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to spend as much time with my daughter as I can. I spend a lot of time with her, but still, I want to make sure I don't, Daddy, where you going? It's like, I got to go away for 3 days to teach judo for $300. It's like, I don't really want to,
Yeah.
I can't justify that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right, but if it's a couple grand, then it's like, you know what? I'm going to fund my kids $529 and, do the right thing. And
What a great
then
father.
it could be worth it.
Yeah.
I try.
Cool. All right, so here are some ideas for those of you who live in a judo desert where there's no judo. Let us know if you have more suggestions. Please support us on Patreon if you can. Anything else we missed?
No, that's it, man.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned for the next episode.